Good evening and welcome to Dem Day Fortean Words. And we looking forward to an incredibly serious and not racist at all episode of Fortean Words, Hobbit.
You mean our special anthropology special, which isn't racist because when's it not racist?
Because we're not racist.
Well, because anthropology. We are studying cultures, what is different to our own.
Yeah.
No
racism intended or implied.
If you think it's racist, then it says more about you than it does us.
Yes, because we're not
absolutely
not racist.
Let's talk about those
Penis
funny
theft
people.
Is real.
Let's talk about those funny people that stick bones through their noses and talk about magic.
What do you want to start with then, Hobbit?
Well, I actually would quite like to do that story we did a few weeks ago on JDLE about the woman who got hypnotized to fart against her will. And you see, this is also something that is just not appreciated in our world, you see. I think the name was Zara Sampson or so.
Do you think Dem Day donned the voodoo on her?
She had the black magic done on her, which made her bum go clut. And let me see. If I just type in fart, will that do it? Yes, Nurse Sued NHS. There we go. That's the one.
Can you read it in a pigeon voice? Because it does sound like it should be a pigeon story.
It is. A nurse... hang on. Pigeon beauty pigeon. A nurse unsuccessfully sued the NHS after claiming she was being experimented upon at work, causing her to fart against her will. Sandra Sampson said hypnosis. Voodoo hypnosis was being used on her at Ealing Hospital, London. Poor heating and ventilation at the acute medical unit altered her state of consciousness and allowed her bosses to control employees, she claimed. She refused to cooperate with psychiatric help and was sacked in December 2019. At an employment tribunal, the former staff nurse said she was suffering from unwelcome gastrointestinal disturbances, which is white man speak for the black magic voodoo. She self-diagnosed herself, that them their correct grammar, as being the target of ideomotor phenomenon, which is white man speak for the black magic. It's a little-known hypnotic concept, which allegedly forces people to make movements unconsciously. Miss Sampson said, I would like to report an observed pattern of likely inappropriate use of hypnosis, ideomotor phenomenon, in my NHS workplace, as opposed to the approved use of hypnosis in the NHS. I joke about that, but there is actually approved hypnotherapy done on the NHS. I remember seeing an experimental procedure where a patient was having surgery, so, cut open with scalpels and stuff, and they're given a choice between, do you want local, epidural, general, or hypnosis? And the patient said, oh, go on then. I mean, you only cut me open, let's do some hypnosis. And it worked. So Miss Sampson said, I would like to report. Yeah, she said that bit already. I am a healthy individual. No, hang on, this is her voice. I am a healthy individual. I do not have any past medical history because I come from a country which doesn't have written records. Recently, I've had various symptoms, including headaches, breathing difficulty, which is a feeling of getting choked, and gastrointestinal disturbance, specifically bulboligimus, spasms, and flatulence. And this is where we looked up the word bulboligimus. It's an actual real word. It means your tummy make a rumble. It becomes extremely bothersome and a distraction at work. It also involves a feeling of being attacked in various parts of the body, including that of one's private part, which I feel is very inappropriate. I understand that control is achieved in this phenomenon with an altered state of consciousness and the poorly controlled thermoregulation (brackets heating) and inadequate ventilation. The ward is located in the basement of the hospital in the area set up for this purpose. I have also noticed that I'm being subjected to significant stress anxiety, which I think makes the subject control easier in this process. Miss Sampson also claimed she had
So you're
suffered.
saying there's a supernatural reason for this woman to have been made to fart?
Well, she's saying that the heating and ventilation system in the acute medical ward of the hospital she's working at is specifically designed to cause bitches to fart against their will.
Flatulence.
And yes, and also, the Borborgumus, which is a real thing. I know because she said it, and it's real. Miss Sampson also claimed she suffered similar hypnotic experiences at home, and wrote to the National Hypnotherapy Society in a bid to back up her claims. And then the article goes, oh yeah, there's still a bit more. I'm dispensing with pigeon now. Bosses at the London Northwest University Healthcare NHS Trust, what a fucking mouthful that is, referred her to occupational health and repeatedly tried to get to see a psychiatrist. 3 different doctors saw her.
Someone's trying to fucking kill her through farting.
Yeah, or she's trying to kill people through farts, or kill her credibility with farting.
Yeah.
I don't know. So something smells fishy about this.
I think there's a lot of bigotry going on here with this poor woman who's suffering, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, just because the NHS doesn't accept that she was hypnotised to fart against her will, honestly, I think it was very, very prejudiced. Because, and you see, that's why we said we need to do this important episode of anthropology.
Yeah. And
do a deep dive into all the black magic voodoo rituals, what happens in Africa and the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Because them days still do penis TikTok on.
Well, should we start with one of our favourite publications, the HuffPost?
Oh, huffing farts.
Yes.
How appropriate.
This is from 2013 from HuffPost. Penis stealing is on the rise in African countryside. All the links are in the African Customs Channel, Hobbit. If you want to read along. The economy is still in shambles. Drones could be surveying your house any day now. To make out matters worse, penis stealing is on the rise. Do you think I think they're just... Why are they not taking this subject seriously?
Well, the thing which I found about... Because, of course, being that I'm such a thicko from a backwater country, I don't understand things like penis theft. Yeah, it turns out that a pastime in Africa is they compare penises... And then, I'm not saying this is what happens, but I'm imagining, say one of them's got a small willy, and the others are making fun of them, no homo, but pointing at the penis and laughing. And they're going, no, you see, I have a much larger penis, but it was stolen by the evil white man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happens all the time, doesn't it?
It does.
And it should be taken more seriously, shouldn't it?
And yet, for some reason, it's a topic of non-stop laughter and ridicule. The
story comes from UC Berkeley anthropologist Louisa Lombard, who writes in Pacific Standard magazine that reports of penis theft, typically confined to urban areas in Western Central Africa, have now spread to Tiringongolo, a peanut-growing hamlet in the Central African Republic that's so small and poor it barely has a market. Although Lombard admits she's never witnessed someone's manhood getting snatched, she spoke with several eyewitnesses who assured her that this crime is all too real. Some thieves are out to cash in on the illicit and lucrative trade in organs residents.
Is there a big demand for African penises on the you know what? I really need a new liver, but can you get us a 5-inch?
A knob will do instead, wouldn't it, of a liver? I bet.
Yeah. I mean, they both do the same sort of thing. You stick a 5-inch penis where your liver once was, it will do the job.
Reports of penis larceny are older than Christ. Harper's traces the first accounts of penis disappearance to China, around 300 BC. Hold on, we was penis stealers. Look at this, trying to appropriate from the black man as always, Hobbit.
You see, this is the sort of thing. Blacks can't have anything. Even the Chinese are trying to muscle in on the penis theft game.
Yeah, disgusting.
I mean, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah.
And the game in this case is penis theft.
But it's not a game. It's not funny, Hobbit.
Well, it's the hustle of the game,
Yeah.
of the penis theft, and you
Harper's
don't respect the hustle.
Harper's traces of the first accounts of penis disappearance to China around 300 BC, when the mortal dangers of xiaoyang or shrinking penis were briefly sketched in the Nai Ching, the Yellow Emperor's classic text of
Hang on.
internal medicine.
The Yellow Emperor, that's a bit racist.
Yeah, fucking hell. HuffPo, Jesus, rein it in. The last penis stealing incident to grab worldwide headlines also took place in China. Look, we was fucking penis thefts. I'm not accepting any of this racism. Are you, Hobbit?
No, I for one, I can't condone any of the words that HuffPost has used in this article.
Yeah.
I for one, say that they should be cancelled.
In July,
#evil penis thefts.
in July 2012, Fei Lin of Nikiao village was sleeping when thieves reportedly put a bag over his head and then cut off and took little Fei. Police suspected the heist was carried out by jealous husbands of women Lin was rumoured to have slept with.
Heist.
So that's the end. That's the end of that one.
It's just Ocean 11. It's like,
Done.
a massive plan to
Oh fuck! What's that thing from fucking Rick and Morty that me and fucking English were talking about earlier? You son of a bitch! I'm in. We're gonna nick Phelan's penis. Son of a bitch! I'm in. Would you be in, Hobbit, stealing his penis?
Does this mean I have to touch it?
No. Well, depends if you're the one cutting or not.
Yeah, I mean, this penis theft thing, it just like, you have to ask yourself what sort of sick, demented individual would want to touch a man's willy and make off with it in the night.
Yeah. Well, jealous husbands of people he's had sex with.
What about women?
Yeah, I suppose that'd be alright.
You know, I just realised I'm too. I really want some cider right now, but I'm too stuffed for even that. Like I was, as one does with the stew, I thought I just put some peppercorns in there, won't bother grinding them up, and a bit into one, I was like, oh yeah, that's really spicy. So I drank a quart of water to just cool it down, and now I'm full. But hey ho, such is life.
Barry George was accused of penis theft after Jill Dando's dildo went missing.
Jill dildos, dandos.
Off-licence suggests they should chip them like dogs. That'd stop it.
What? Oh, right, put a chip in their penis.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have the technology. We can rebuild it.
While we're talking about Africa, what do you want to talk about next? Do you want to talk about some real history?
Ah, well, yeah, because I mean, you know, well, I think in addition to real history, we definitely gonna have to. It might be for another episode, but have you heard of the strange half man, half crocodile, or rapist Mokele Makembe?
No, I'll suggest you're going to have to tell us about that. You can tell us about that next if you want.
Yeah.
So, we're going to talk about a fella called Wallace D. Fard, which kind of sounds like he shit himself. That I've farded.
Fard.
I'm Wallace D. Fard. I was an immigrant, and he founded the Nation of Islam in the mid-1930s in America. Are you familiar with the Nation of Islam, Hobbit?
No, what's that?
The nation, well, you do ask. The Nation of Islam teaches that the black race was descended from the original tribe of Shabazz. 6,600 years ago. 6,600 years. In the
It's
past.
very specific.
Yeah. Until
Where did they get that number from?
Is it always 6,600 years ago, or does it change?
Well, that's a bit I'd like to know about, because, like, say they founded this in, I don't know, 1950.
Well, they founded it in 1930. So is it still 6,600 years ago?
Yeah,
or
because
is it
it's
6,600 years before 1930?
Yeah. Is it like a sliding scale?
It could be. Anyway, this tribe ruled the world until an evil scientist named Yakub cooked up an experiment, Hobbit. Do you know what that experiment was?
Penis theft.
Jakob, who was exiled to the island of Patmos with 59,999 followers.
Very specific.
Very, very specific. Because he preached dissension, interbred the lightest skinned segment of the black race for hundreds of years. This resulted in a new race of blonde, blue-eyed, white devils, a people
So
without
how long
morals
did
or
Jakob
compassion.
live for then?
Don't know.
Because he
666 years.
Yeah.
Something like that. This resulted in a new race of blonde, blue-eyed, white devils, a people without morals or compassion. We'll talk about the morals and compassion of the black man later when we talk about general butt naked, won't we, Hobbit?
Oh, yeah. Maybe Robert Mugabe. How many penises did he steal?
The new race set blacks against another and created so much strife that they were exiled to the caves of Europe. 2,000 years after their exile, God sent Moses to civilize the devil race. Before long, the whites took over the world, enslaving the entirety of the darker world. Yeah, that weren't a very good Thor sequel, The Darker World, was it? But it's been prophesied. Hobbit, is there any light at the end of the tunnel, you ask, don't you?
Well, no, but let's pretend I did say that.
Yeah, but it was prophesied that black people would give birth to someone whose power and wisdom would be infinite. W.D. Fard was the chosen one, and he taught...
I thought they were going to talk about Kanye.
And he taught, this was 1930, he wasn't even a twitch in his daddy's sack, was he? He taught that the white devil's civilization was destined to be destroyed. I wonder who by, Hobbit. Who could you possibly let loose on the white devil's civilization to destroy it, Hobbit?
It's quite prophetic. I mean, he seems to have like advanced knowledge or something. I think we should be paying like serious attention to what this man has to say.
Anyway, he set forth that the reign of the white oppressors would come to an end when 1.5 mile wide spaceship, the mother of planes, well, that's a plane, it's not a spaceship, appeared in the sky 8 days before Allah's chosen day of retribution, which was alternately known as the Judgment, Armageddon, the Fall of America, and the Second Hell. The ship would drop pamphlets written in Arabic telling righteous people where to go to survive. So no white people can read Arabic then, Hobbit.
It's a foolproof plan.
I think I've noticed I think I might have noticed the flaw in W.D. Fard's plan. Telling righteous people where to survive.
What's an Arab then? Doesn't.
Then 1,500 planes would emerge from the spaceship and drop deadly explosives, destroying the white race and restoring power to the original Kangs of Shabazz, descendants of Shabazz.
Shabazz Shalom.
Shabazz Shalom.
Shabazi.
What do you think to that story then, lads?
I think that's very credible, and all I gotta know is, what did W.D. Shit and Fard know about penis theft, and what's he not telling us?
I don't think he knew about the penis theft. I think that maybe that's another one of the things.
He's trying to keep us in the dark about the penis theft. Then, how many penises has he stolen? Has anybody done a cavity search on him? We need to find these missing penises.
Yeah.
Someone keeps stealing the penises, and we need to stop and figure out what the hell's going on with all this penis theft.
I'll find some more penis theft stuff. So General Butt Naked.
Good old General Butt Naked. Hang on, we're burning through. We've not even done a quarter of an hour.
I know, we've done 20 minutes.
Oh, well, we started early, didn't we? Because special announcement for later on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. After us is Dopey Chris, and he's going to tell us all about the happenings at the concert on Sunday.
Yeah, because that's interesting, and I think
what's this? Some sort of Arabic Scientology? Look at that! What an ignorant man Dom Elfkicker is, isn't he?
Well, there you go. Just close to show you know nothing about the genius of the black man.
The Fard, Shit and Fard.
Yeah. How much have you shit and Fard? Clearly not as much as William D. Fard.
William Shit Fard.
Yep. Great name.
So anyway, Joshua
You're just
Milton.
jealous of his ability. That's why you keep taking the piss out of him.
Joshua Milton Blahey, born September the 30th, 1971, better known as his nom de guerre, General Butt Naked, is a former...
I was going to say, with a name like Blahey, does he know Jim Leahy?
Yeah, might do. The Blahey connection.
Does he have like an assistant called Randy or Randy Babandy?
I don't know. So he's a former commander of forces under the wider control of Liberian warlord Roosevelt Johnson. This just reminds me of the names from... You ever seen Alien Nation, Hobbit?
These names are pretty good, aren't they?
Yeah. Blahey was known for his violence and atrocities during the first Liberian Civil War in the 1990s. What, there have been more? But how can they have Liberian Civil War, Hobbit? You say? Don't they have the don't they have all the ingredients for a society?
But the problem with Liberia, you see, even though it's set on the US Constitution, it's not exactly the same. The only difference, and everyone who says anything else, they're being racist. The only difference between US Constitution and Liberian Constitution is the terms the president can sit. Liberia is 6 years, where in the US it's 4 years.
Is that it then? Is that it then?
That's literally the only difference between Liberia and the US.
Definitely.
Yep. Nothing else could account for it.
Nothing at all. Once described as the most evil man in the world, Blahey said in 2008 that he killed at least 20,000 people and carried out regular human sacrifice and cannibalism of children. Blahey stated he was originally a tribal priest.
There's copyright infringement there. Because Aleister Crowley is the wickedest man ever.
That's the wickedest man.
Oh, he called himself the most evil man.
Yes.
Ah, I see.
Very careful. And carried out regular human sacrifice, cannibalism of children. Blahey stated that he was originally a tribal priest. Since the war, he has converted to Christianity and become a preacher. Yeah, a preacher he has, hasn't he? Isn't there like video of him like going around and demanding like the families of his victims like accept his apology?
I am a Christian now. You must forgive me.
You must forgive me. That is how Christianity works. I come, I ask forgiveness, and you forgive me.
Yeah, there's like people still bereaved because they remember when it's like you raped my baby and you set my husband on fire. You must forgive me now. Look at me. I am the Christian preacher now. I am
the Christian now.
I am the Christian now. You forgive me or I steal your penis, but I'm a woman. I will steal your penis.
We got a that's right in chat. That's right.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I suggested that this be called Ooga Booga Gives Me That. But apparently that title was not suitable for YouTube.
And we were gonna say penis, but we changed it to winky because Susan gets upset when you say penis.
Yeah, especially if you put boobs in the title. You get instant fucking ban on your channel that's been there since 2006. Thank you. Oh, I'm not going to say that word actually. Yeah. I just remembered you're not allowed to have fun on YouTube anymore.
No, you're not. Nope.
Fun at me is screaming obscenities.
Have you seen the 2011 documentary? I really need to hunt that one down. In the 2011 documentary, his wife Josie, son Joshua Jr. and two daughters Michaela and Janice were interviewed on the life of the warlord turned preacher. So he's now, I am the preacher now.
Look at me, I know the preach. And how many penises did he steal? Because
I don't think he stole them. I think he ate them, didn't he?
Oh. Yeah, but like you know, if I was to steal a loaf of bread from a bakery, that's still theft. It doesn't matter, you know, if I like set my own bakery and sell the stolen loaves, or if I eat the loaves myself, I've still committed the act of theft. I've deprived someone of the property of their penis.
Well, to be fair, they probably were dead when he stole the penis, so there was no use for the penis.
Ah, so it's not abuse; it's
it was a spare one. It weren't.
But we figured out from that electrician, who I don't want to remember, that it's not abuse if it's dead, it's desecration. Mm. So there you go. That knowing the difference could save your life.
Ian, you're familiar with General Butt Naked, aren't you?
Yeah. No well, mate. No well.
Blay was born into the Saba. Is he like Purple Aki for Africa's Purple Aki? Is that what he is?
Mr. Blahey.
Yeah.
He's the trader pot supervisor for Liberia.
Blahey was born into. What are you gonna say, mate? Blahey was born into the Sapo tribe in Liberia. How did they have the Sapo tribe if they have a constitution? The Crown elders appointed him at age 11. He appointed him at age 11 as high priest. Why there was all that? It's like, why do they go from like hardly using any punctuation to using far too much?
Well, they figure that if you put like enough punctuation in, like on average, you've got the correct amount of punctuation, so that
to make up from the other people that don't use punctuation.
Yeah. You see how it works.
High priest, a position that would lead him to become the spiritual advisor to Liberian President Samuel Doe. Blahey, is it Blahey? I don't know. I'll say Blahey.
Mr. Blahey.
Blahyi. How would you pronounce that?
Randy.
Blahey.
Mr. Blahey.
Mr. Blahey adhered to a complex traditional belief system as a calm priest. Blahey himself said, I make him sound Irish, don't I? Blahey himself. I was a high priest for the biggest god under the Khan tribe, and the late Samuel K. Doe, being a fellow tribesman, was automatically placed under my jurisdiction. I also placed the Nyambe Awe amongst the first 3 high-ranking gods in West Africa's Black Witch Coastal Line Division.
Oh, sorry, did Soyam.
Yeah. Nyambe Awe was Blahey's idol. According to him, demanded ritual sacrifice. Blahey would come to believe that Nyambe Awe was the devil. He said that the Kran tribe selects leaders based upon physical prowess rather than birthright. The selection
they don't select them on their ability to issue bus tickets. Then I'll get you, Blakey.
I don't think. I think, as we'll find out in a bit, I don't think we'll find out that it's on military ability either, is it? On tactics.
Well, that said, Mr. General Butt Naked, Mr. Blahey, he did have some interesting strategies.
He did. Interesting. The selection process takes place through an annual fight. The traditional fight was a no-holds-barred affair. The eventual victor was allowed to kill and maim to show his strength and bravery. The strongest or last man standing after the bloody contest will take over the birthright and the headship of the tribe. Oh, who's in my army then? Oh no, you're all dead or maimed. Great idea, that, isn't it, Hobbit?
I think this is why in Europe we sort of developed like systems of like, I want these people to be functional after I've bested them in combat. So maybe we'll have simulated combat like football, cricket, or darts or archery, so that we don't kill one another, but can still.
He said, was it Blakey from the buses? Oh, I'll get you.
I'll get you, Gerald Butt Naked.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, I'll get you, Gerald Butt Naked.
Is it just me? I don't think some of our audience are taking this important anthropological studies.
I think they're taking it far too lightly. This serious man, General Blakey.
If you haven't done so already, I would suggest you go and get yourself a stiff drink and get it down you, and then you'll be in the right sort of mood to appreciate the important learning and cultures
we've got important stuff to learn,
Yeah. You need to understand this, because you, White Devil, are ignorant and stupid, savage. So you smell like Red Dog.
Not like Blahey.
No, not like Mr. Blahey. No, he's all right. Blahey. That's what you need to learn.
Blahey has said that he led his troops naked except for sneakers and armed with a gun or machete. He weren't particularly sneaking, was he?
Sneakers in our country are known as trainers.
He believed that his nakedness was a source of protection from bullets. Impeccable logic there, Hobbit, isn't it?
Well, like, you see, nobody would go into battle naked and expect to survive, and that's why it worked.
Yeah.
See? You're just not as smart as him. You're not able, because with your small caveman mind, you can't contemplate advanced strategies like Mr. Blahey can.
Yeah.
I'm just going to... I know he's general, but I'm just going to refer to him as Mr. Blahey.
Yeah, Blahey stated that he would regularly sacrifice a victim before every battle. Usually it was a small child, someone whose fresh blood would satisfy the devil, he stated to the Seattle Post Intelligencer. Sometimes I would enter under the water where children were playing. I would dive under the water, grab one, carry him under and break his neck. Sometimes I'd cause accidents, sometimes I'd just slaughter them.
Slaughter them all. Oh, so I did. I
Yeah.
slaughtered them.
In January
Those children
2008,
didn't hurt them.
Blahey confessed to taking part in human sacrifices, which, I'll do Blahey's proper voice now, included the killing of an innocent child and taking that out the heart, which was divided into pieces for us to eat.
Yum yum, I eat the heart.
Cut my heart
don't eat
into pieces.
This is my last fart. I don't eat the poo-poo, I eat the heart.
Blahey claimed to a South African Star reporter that he met Satan regularly and talked to him, and that from the age of 11 to 25 he took part in monthly human sacrifices. Describing a typical battle, Blahey said, "Is this like Desert Line and Discs? So tell me your, because I watched Hot Fuzz fairly recently. Tell me your ideal battle." Do you remember that bit when he says, when the reporter keeps asking, tell me your ideal Sunday? Do you not remember that bit?
I think I've seen the first film appearance of Simon Pegg, which is Guest House Paradiso. And he's just getting abused constantly by Rick Mail, which is funny because I don't like him that much.
So before leading our troops into battle, we would get drunk and drugged up, sacrifice a local teenager, drink the blood, then strip down to our shoes, and we go into a battle wearing colourful wigs and carrying imaginary purses we'd looted from civilians.
You know, this sounds more and more like Trailer Park Boys, where like they'd wear colourful costumes for the Blandford recreational thing and get drunken on drugs with the cheeseburger party.
It's like that. It's like that, but Civil War.
Yeah, no, this is well. That's just like Trailer Park Boys. Mr. Blahey's always trying to kill Ricky, and he almost does once. I mean, there's a whole bit where he like gets his old police uniform out and his gun, and he arrests Ricky, Julian, and Bubbles and puts them into a prison he's just done, and he's going to set them on fire.
There's more times than that, mate. Where he wore a dress and you put a magnum to his head.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You're a bit on the quiet side, ain't you? We'd slaughter anyone we saw, chop their heads off, and use them as soccer balls. You can tell you tell they've got a Yank constitution, because they use soccer.
Soccer.
We were nude, fearless, drunk yet strategic. Okay, you sound really
strategic.
We killed paraplegic, more like.
We
killed hundreds of people, so many I lost count.
Oh, it was a good old laugh.
Yeah.
Everyone had a good time, except those that died.
Yeah.
But they don't count.
Eaten, drowned, neck broken, whatever else he did to people.
Bummed.
Blahey also purported that during this period he had magical powers that made him invisible. And had a special power. Yeah, no, it's just because everyone looked away because there was a man on the battlefield with his wanger out.
Is it like, you know, when like Eric Cartman thinks he's invisible and he goes onto stage naked?
Something like that. And a special power to get. Are you saying that that blacks are in fact 8th graders?
I am saying that South Park stole General Mr. Leahy's advanced battle strategies.
To capture a town single-handedly, then calling his troops afterwards to clean up. I don't even know what that means. I don't even want to know what that means because it's in quotation marks. Some of Blahey's soldiers, often boys in their early teens and younger, would enter battle naked. Others would wear women's clothes. In June 2006, Blahey published his autobiography that included pictures of him fighting with a rifle wearing nothing but sneakers.
I'm sure that will sell well in Waterstones.
Yeah. A real coffee table edition, that one, isn't it? During the First Liberian Civil War, he led a mercenary unit, many of whom were child soldiers, which was known as the Butt Naked Brigade. His troop fought on behalf of the Liberia Peace Council. They were funded by Roosevelt Johnson and fought alongside the United Liberation Movement of Liberia for Democracy. Yes, that's what it's
That's
called.
a mouthful.
Jesus Christ. Militia. Militia against militias led by Charles Taylor and Prince Yormi Johnson. Ulimo, that's better than United Liberation Movement for Liberia for Democracy.
Is this the Palestinian Defense Liberation Front? No, it's the United Judean People's Front.
Was loyal to Samuel Doe, was captured and executed personally by Prince Johnson. Taylor eventually took control of the country. Blaze.
I get it. His name's Johnson because they stole his Johnson.
They probably did steal his Johnson.
Yeah.
He stuffed it in his mouth.
When will this penis theft cease and desist?
So General Butt Naked, after serving the devil, decided he was going to serve God instead. So Blaze rampage ended in 1996 when the civil war in Liberia was coming to an end. He states his conversion was bolstered by a church in Liberia where Bishop Kun is... These aren't real names. These can't be real names. They claim to have...
that just goes to show what you know, White Devil.
They claim to have heard from God to fast for 54 days for his deliverance. After the fast, they claim God gave them spiritual powers to infiltrate his coven in Monrovia. God gave them spiritual powers to infiltrate his coven in Monrovia and preach to him.
Monrovia.
God had a coven.
God had a coven with them. Yep.
God had a coven like a witch. Apparently, God's like a witch. Shortly after, Blakey claims he experienced a theophany in which Jesus Christ appeared to him as a blinding light, spoke to him as a son, and told him he would die unless he repented his sins. What were you going to say, Hobbit?
I was going to say your white devil caveman brain can't cope with like the God's coven and stuff. This language is too advanced for you, clearly. Yeah.
Blakey travelled to the Budaburam refugee camp in Ghana. Budaburam refugee camp in Ghana. It was the camp he recounts that he made his confession for his sins at church and had his life saved. Subsequently, when he preaches, he says sometimes he encounters relatives of his victims. I feel very bad, so bad, he said, but stated in a 1997 interview that satanic powers had possessed him in the past and he cannot be held responsible.
That's right.
It weren't me. It weren't me. I'm a good boy. I was trying to get into college, but the devil made me do it.
It was the devil in me. You can't blame me.
The white devil put the devil in me. It's not his fault. He's a good boy. He wanted to be a SoundCloud, a naked SoundCloud rapper, but God just wouldn't let him.
He's literally got his life on track.
He has got his life on track.
Yeah.
He's now a good boy. Although he did do something, you can't say he didn't do nothing. But it wasn't him because it was the devil.
The devil done it in me.
However, in more recent interviews, Blay has taken full responsibility and supported the establishment of a war crimes court to hold Liberian warlords, including himself, accountable for their atrocities. In January 2008, Blay returned to Liberia from Ghana and testified before the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of Liberia that he and his men were responsible for the deaths of more than 20,000 people between approximately 1980 and 1996. In June 2021, he claimed he would voluntarily turn him over to a war crimes court, even if it meant imprisonment, describing the remorse he feels in his daily life and that the personal freedom of atonement.
You must forgive me.
If you don't forgive me, the devil.
If you don't forgive me, the devil win.
So, Blahey is the president of End Time Train Evangelistic Ministries Incorporated.
Yes.
I'll just say that again. It's End Time Train Evangelistic Ministries Incorporated. With headquarters in
very official.
Yeah, very. The more names you have on it, the more important it actually is. He is married to Pastor Mrs. Josie, and he has 4 children: Jackie, Mary Beth, Janice, Joshua Milton Jr., and Michaela. In 2013, Blay published an autobiography titled The Redemption of an African Warlord, The Joshua Blay Story, a modern-day conversion from Saul to Paul. He really doesn't know how to do a fucking snappy title, does he?
I think he's someone who likes all the $5 words he's learnt, but I just got to say, you know what? At least his children have got normal names.
Mary Beth, one word.
There's no, well, yeah, okay, but you know, at least he's trying. Why are you shitting on him all? He's just, did he steal your Did he steal your penis? There's a mouthful.
Fucking hell. In October 2016, Blay appealed to donators to donate $500,000 to his Journeys Against Violence NGO, which trains child soldiers and drug addicts in farming and construction.
What? So it's not enough that they do a life soldiering. You don't expect these children to do manual labour as well.
Yeah.
He doesn't stop with them. It's like, no, you must carry on doing work.
Yeah.
You must work more.
Yeah. So that's that. He's completely off the hook. No responsibility at all for him.
What? You're saying you don't believe him? Are you jealous of the black man?
The way, I'm the white devil. I just want to bring him down.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Clearly irrational hatred for the colour of his skin, which you could see a lot of as he didn't wear any clothes.
Yeah. Wait, war trainers. What more do you want?
An AK-47.
If only battlefields were Well, I'm just looking at something. If only battlefields were no trainers, a lot of lives could have been saved.
Ah, there you go. They needed bouncers in the battlefield.
Yeah. No trainers, mate.
You're not coming in here with that.
Oh, what the fuck? I've got cunt.
What the fuck?
Slag. Trying to open the link and it won't fucking open.
You have had too many links today. You are trying to steal my penis.
Briefly unavailable for scheduled maintenance. You absolute cockbag.
Oh, well, typical. As soon as we uncover, get down to the nitty
Can you see
gritty
if
of
you can
penis
open
breath.
that albinos link, Hobbit? It might be me.
Excuse me. Oh yeah, albinos. That's very important.
Yeah. That's a pretty decent article, but for some reason it won't open on my...
June, Sahara, Africa. That's what we want.
African customs.
Let's have a look. African. Sorry, what's the link called?
Juju. It's Dr. Adams, Violence Against Albinos in East Africa.
Ah, yeah, because you know the thing about the albinos have got gold inside their head, so you got to split open their skull. It's a bit like saying that, oh, if you've got AIDS, it's all right. You just rape a baby, and then the AIDS goes into the baby. It's like, yeah, but you still got AIDS.
We've got a baby with AIDS then.
Yeah. Ah, Violence Against Abos, East Africa.
Yeah,
And
that's the one.
yeah, it's loaded up. Albino
just wait for me.
humans. I'm not doing pigeon on this because they're albino, white devil, caveman. Albinos in East Africa. It's 2014, isn't it? Yeah, because this is written in 2014. One would like to believe some degree of pragmatism and scientific thought has woven its way into the world now, right? Don't get your hopes up too high. Allow me to tell you about life as an albino in East Africa. Albinism is a genetic skin condition which individuals are born without the ability to make pigment. The skin is extremely pale and the eyes tend to be soft blue or pinkish hue. This predisposes albinos to early skin cancers and a lifetime of poor eyesight, since neither the skin nor the eyes are shielded by normal pigment. Life as an albino is tough enough as it is. Now imagine you're a native African albino staring out glaringly white against your family and community of dark-skinned people, also known as dark people. This past month, African albinos have suffered for an especially vicious time. In Tanzania, a young albino man's body was discovered in a swamp where someone had carved out a large patch of white skin and bore a hole in his abdomen. On the 5th of August, 3 machete-wielding men hacked off the right arm of a 15-year-old albino girl. They later attacked her albino uncle, but he was able to escape. Authorities arrested the men, who said a local witch doctor was ready to pay them $6,000 in US currency for the girl's arm. On the 7th of August...
Well, why didn't they go for the whole body? They would have got more.
Well, he just, he's like, I'm only paying for the arm, mate.
He's not being wasteful, then.
Yeah, he's not looking... I mean, she's a girl, he can't steal her penis.
Yeah.
Armed men descended upon a 35-year-old albino woman and cut off her lower arm, but not before killing her husband, who died trying to defend her. United Nations officials reported at least 5 known assaults on albinos in Tanzania alone last month. Since 1998, there have been 332 documented attacks on albinos in the area. Exact numbers are elusive, however, because most occur in rural areas and often relatives of the albinos are involved in the violence.
Nice.
Just like you and I.
Remember, it's fucking Yakub's fucking creations that are the real, like, remorseless fucking murderers, aren't they?
Well, this is the thing. We know that the true white devils is so we got to split their skull open and see if there's any gold in there, because.
Does it mention? We won't know yet. But I wonder if it mentions.
I think it was a more recent story. It wasn't in 2014. The albino body parts have a long history of use in folk magic by local witch doctors. Often the bone, skin, and genitals of albinos are ground down and mixed into potions and charms. Albino hair is threaded into fishermen's nets to ensure a good catch. Gold miners covet their bones as amulets to bring luck. Peter Ash, who heads an albinism rights organisation called Under the Same Sun, points out, in sub-Saharan Africa, there's a significant belief in witchcraft, which often involves the use of body parts. Because all albinos sound like Hannibal Lecter. Yeah. It has been the case long before its colonisation. It's part of a deep-seated cultural, historical and spiritual practice. Research reports that 93% of Christians and Muslims in Tanzania believe in witchcraft. They don't believe, they believe in witchcraft, which is at the epicenter of these crimes. There is also quite a disturbing belief that having sex with an albino woman or virgin girl can cure HIV/AIDS. Yeah, virgin girl is euphemism for baby. It's like, most babies are
the babies do tend to cop it in African culture, don't they?
Well, if the babies didn't want to get raped in Africa, they shouldn't have been born. Basically, yeah. That's what we can learn from this stuff. But I'm just an evil white devil for noticing this sort of stuff. So, yep. There's more to. I really want a cider break, but he drinks a whiskey drink, he drinks a vodka drink, he drinks a cider drink, drinks a lager drink.
It's actually come up now. Whereabouts are you?
He drinks violence against albinos.
The median annual income in Tanzania is $600 in US currency. Partial limbs of an albino fetch hundreds of dollars on the underground market. Entire albino bodies reportedly go for $75,000 in US funds. If $6,000 for an arm, I suppose that's about right.
Costs an arm and a leg, mate.
Yeah, an arm and a leg. Prices like that are not supported by the impoverished rural communities. It's widely believed that affluent members of society are behind the purchasing of these body parts, and traditional witch doctors are ever more catering to the appetites of the wealthy. It's reported that prior to elections, attacks on albinos spike. This gives rise to the belief that many politicians are unwilling to run a campaign without invoking a little folk magic on their side. And if the rulers of the country are indeed involved, it's unlikely any meaningful crackdown will come soon. In an attempt to protect albino children, special schools and living facilities away from the public eye have been created. Critics claim they have quickly degraded into understaffed, neglectful facilities where sexual abuse is rampant and children grow up illiterate.
In Tanzania's defence, that's normal for any childcare facility.
Yeah, I can't imagine it's much better in a regular school, is it?
It's just part and parcel. We're not talking about abos in this episode, are we? Because I thought we could do a bit of... As this is our anthropology special...
Yeah.
Might want to mention the other dark-skinned. I'll mention
we might squeeze some in, because I do have that thing about the curvature, which is, I think, our abo. So if we have time at the end, we'll stick it in. If not, we'll do another episode. I like this line. However bad these places may be, the elbows at least seem to be physically safe for now. Well, apart from the rape. Apart from the rape and physical neglect, they're perfectly safe.
Rape. But hey, this isn't even JDLE, and we're talking about rape.
Yeah.
He's rape mad.
The lack of acceptance for albinos is mind-boggling. When a white child is born to black parents, many suspect the mother of having copulated with a white man. It's also possible that the child is an actual ghost of a former European colonist in this belief system. In Zimbabwe, albinos are thought to be possessed by spirits of evil and are called SOPE, S-O-P-E. Because of this attitude, many albinos are choosing to live out their lives in the protected colonies, much like lepers had to do in the 19th century. Even after death, an albino doesn't enjoy peace. Family members have been known to encase the body in cement or bury them in remote unmarked graves to thwart grave robbers. Other families simply cut out the middleman and sell off the body of the deceased to witch doctors directly.
Yes, but it's the albinos which are evil.
Yeah. There really is no shortage of human catastrophe in the news these days. Ebola has broken out of its African cage and is now on American soil. Every week a journalist is beheaded by the Islamic militant group ISIS on YouTube.
Do you remember when Ebola was going to kill us all?
Yeah, Ebola. That's not an African albino. That's
Ebola? Ebola, he has Ebola. The children have Ebola. The teacher has Ebola. Even the priest has Ebola. Sing, sing, Ebola. It's just like, hey, it's this horrible, like, bubonic plague that's going to kill you. You're going to be shitting blood out of your eyes.
Mozambique police warn bald men after ritual attack. Bald men in Mozambique could be targets of... That fucking page stopped moving. Could be targets of ritual attacks, police have been warned, after the recent killing of 5 men for their body parts. 2 suspected I think this is...
Is it the bald men
you've got the gold in
gold?
The wrong one. It's not the gold in the albinos, it's the gold in the baldies.
Of course you'll find silver in an albino skull, if they're bald.
2 suspects have been arrested in the central district
obviously.
of Milange, where the killings occurred. The belief is that the head of a bald man contains gold, said Afonso Dias, a police commander in Mozambique's central Zambezia province.
Zambezi Weezy.
Albino people have also been killed in the region for ritual purposes. We know that. 3 men have been killed in the past week alone. BBC's Jose Tembe in the capital Maputo says police think the notion of a bald head containing a gold is a ruse by witch doctors to get clients to take a person's head to them.
No Fun Zone says it's more zoological than anthropological, this Fortean.
Imagine that. I go, I only wanted a head. This game really got gold in it. Is that what they do?
It's like, the white devil stole his gold already.
The white devil and his magic has taken it already.
That's why we're poor.
Their motive comes from superstition and culture. The local community thinks bald individuals are rich. Commander Diaz is reported as having told a press conference in Maputo. The suspects are 2 young Mozambicans, aged around 20. The AFP news agency reports. The organs can be used in rituals to advance the wealth of clients in Tanzania and Malawi. There's been a spate of killings of people with albinism in East Africa in recent years, with their body parts used to make charms and potions by witch doctors. Remember, all cultures are equal, Hobbit.
They certainly are.
Yeah.
Especially the Aztec, they're the most equal of all.
Yeah.
Anthropology's taught me a lot of useful stuff.
Yeah. Did you want to do about the weird hyena next?
Oh, do I ever? No, actually, there's 2 things. That was it. I was going to say something about abos. Oh, yeah. Abos like
abos
to...
are at the end. You're on the wrong continent, Hobbit.
Well, okay, before I forget, because we're talking about, like, albinos getting raped, abos like to rape and eat their children. And the Australians are like, nah, mate, can't do that. Fuck off, cunt.
Yeah.
And that's why they used to, like, say, we're going to now just... we're going to look after your kids from now on. And that happened until the 1980s. It still goes on, by the way. They still rape and eat their children, but now you're just not allowed to talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the
sorry.
best way, really, and just don't talk
Yeah,
about it. Pretend it's
yeah, that's it. Just turn a blind eye.
Yeah.
But before we talk about the were hyena, I think we also need to talk about another African mythical creature, which, so, Ian, I'm going to steal your thunder on this one. I'm going to look
Yeah.
up Mokele Mkembe. Mokele Mkembe. And, oh yeah, here we go. Mokele Mbembe. It's an easy to pronounce name, really rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
Mokele Mbembe. In cryptozoology, the Mokele Mbembe, also written as Mokele Mbembe, one who stops the flow of rivers, is a water-dwelling entity that supposedly lives in the Congo River basin.
Is it
It looks
Dindwasia? Is it a big old Dindwasia?
I thought it was like a crocodile man, but this drawing looks like the Loch Ness monster.
Yeah.
Now, I was told what happens is if you've been naughty, you know, like Father Christmas will put a
Imagine what a Loch Ness monster poop looks like.
It's like you see it; it's always blurry, no matter how much you try and focus on it. Now, I was told like it's a bit like their version of Father Christmas or Krampus, where if you've been naughty, he'll come visit you and rape you. So, you know, if someone's been raped in the village and they don't know who the rapist is, it's Mokele Memembe. Hang on. Bit of cider.
Membe.
Membe.
Oh, it's Malkel Mem Mabem.
Mokele
No, it's Malkel Mabem. That's it, isn't it, I bet? Because the pronunciation's right next to it in the
Mokele Mbembe.
Malkel Mabem.
Mbembe. And he's sometimes described as a... Is it? Well, why have they written an E then if it's silent?
Malkel Mabem. Because they're lessers, aren't they?
Oh, bless their heart. Anyway.
Sometimes November is Wikipedia Asian Month.
Ah.
They're celebrating all the people that code for them.
In slitty-eyed mode. Sometimes described as a living creature, sometimes as a spirit. Those that heard or that allegedly saw the entity described it as a large quadrupedal herbivore with smooth skin. Hang on, so who was I being told about then? This is... I'm going to have a word with my mate and say, hang on, let me just send him a message.
You're selling me.
Let's send him a message right now and say, hey, this doesn't look like a rapist. God, he's so racist, he is. This does not look like a crocodile man rapist. Let's see what he says to that. The entity become point focus amongst adherents of the pseudoscience of cryptozoology and young Earth creationism.
Yeah, don't put in crocodile rapist Africa because you get South African brothers killed raping crocodile in Muthi. With several men arrested for sexually assaulting a crocodile. Limpopo brothers killed while raping a crocodile.
Yeah, they heard
South
it
Africa,
cured AIDS.
3 blacks die after raping a crocodile.
So it's more than just one.
Crocodile
maybe that's
Bumby.
it. Crocodile Bumby. Maybe they heard about
is it Gustav? It's called Gustav, the demon crocodile of Africa.
Oh, now that's a different story. But maybe they heard that Mokele Mbembe was out there raping, and they decided to rape the crocodiles in revenge.
Yeah.
So
what's good for the goose is good for the gander, isn't it? I bet.
That's it. So anyway, we'll
don't
ignore
seem
the
to
bits.
work out too well, does it?
We'll ignore the bit where Wikipedia's trying to moonlight a Snopes and go on to the bit where it says where evolution, blah. It says it's still talking about a bunch of shit. Great Zimbabwe doesn't exist, so I'd ignore that. The first description of the Mokele Mbembe as an Apatosaurus-like creature was in 1909 in Beasts and Men, the autobiography of famed big game hunter Carl Hagenbeck. He claimed to have heard from 2 independent sources about a creature living in Rhodesia, which was described to them by natives as half elephant and half dragon. Well, then he doesn't look like a crocodile or Loch Ness. Oh, it doesn't matter.
African folklore, the hare and the crocodile.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So naturalist Joseph Menges, not to be confused with Joseph Mengele, has also told Hagenbeck about similar stories. Hagenbeck speculate that it can only be some sort of dinosaur, definitely not a rape man, seemingly akin to Brontosaurus. Another of Hagenbeck's sources, Hans Schomburg K, asserted that while at Lake Bangrilulu, he noticed a pair of hippopotami. His native guides informed him of a large hippo-killing creature that lived at Lake Bangrilulu. However, as noted below, Schomburg K, this is boring. Suffice to say, they're trying to make out that it's like some African Loch Ness, and really we know it's the rape man.
I can't find it, but I've found about Groot slang. Groot slang is an Afrikaans word meaning great snake. The monster of that name lives in a cave called the Wonder Hole. This sounds like
Wonder Hole, eh?
This doesn't sound quite right, does it? It sounds like
it's a wonder hole like an Afrikaans glory hole.
Yeah, I think so. The story is the original Groot slang was found to be too powerful, so the gods subdivided the animal into two species, the elephant and the snake. However, Groot slang or two escaped this fate and reproduced. The monster can grow up to 60 feet long. Supposedly it's cave full of diamonds, but no one knows for sure because the Groot slang guards it well.
Groot slang.
How about the Inkeni Yamba?
The Inkeni Yamba.
The Inkeni Yamba is a huge carnivorous eel-like animal in the legends of the Zulu and the Xhosa people of South Africa. Ancient legends say Inca mammals can control the weather. They said to have fins and or flippers and grow to tremendous size.
The Xhosa people are literally the click dirks of Africa.
Yeah. How about Congamato?
I think I remember
the new Congamato from JML.
I was going to say, did he do an album with Yellowman, Police and Helicopter?
A flying monster called Congamato in Zambia, Angola and Congo is described as a flying reptile we may recognise as a pterosaur. Pterosaur in it, dickhead.
Peter
saw it, yeah.
Yeah.
It was first described in English by explorer Frank Welland in 1932. Although local legend goes back much further, this cryptid lives in rivers and swamps and has a huge wingspan but no feathers. How about the Impundulu? The Impundulu, or lightning bird, is a supernatural bird from Pondo, Zulu, and how do you pronounce the click dirt place? Osa.
Mr. Click Dirk.
Is it Osa?
Yeah, there you go. Oh, yeah. You're better at click dirks than I am.
Yeah. The South African bird is as big as a human and can summon lightning storms, and hence the name. The bird is sometimes a shapeshifter that can appear as a human and sometimes said to be a supernatural familiar that guards a witch or a witch doctor. It will attack people and drink their blood. However, parts of the Impundulu or its eggs have medicinal powers.
Hey, chat mentions this, and yeah, we should talk about him. Have you heard about the Dogon shaman, Credo Mutwa?
No.
Who's good friends with David Icke.
Is he?
Now, Credo Mutwa actually is, as Africans go, quite interesting. So, they talk about, they originated from the Dogon star, which I think is the dog star. Oh, an error occurred. Is that your end or my end? Let's refresh the page. And it's your end. No, it's my end, sorry.
What?
That's fine. Oh, just YouTube says an error has occurred. Please try reloading the page. Yeah, Credo Mutwa says it comes from the Dogon star, and David Icke pointed out, saying, like, yeah, this star that he's on about wasn't spotted until the Hubble Space Telescope went up, and only then did we see this. But like they knew about it, so how is it
that
like
other
this?
tribe that knew about the Dogon? Is it the Dogon star? Is it something or Sirius or something?
Well, they are. Hang on, they are the. Let me see. If I go Credo Mutwa, Credo Mutwa, Vusa Mazulu Credo Mutwa. There we go. Oh, he died in 2020. Did you know that?
Nope.
God, he got fat towards the end of his life. No, that's in 1997.
Who, David Icke?
No, Credo Mutwa. He died last year.
Ooh.
So, yeah, 98 years old.
What was he stealing in the car?
Oh, it wasn't bad innings. No, he didn't have to steal cars. He got others to do it for him. He's the one that's like charging $700 for an albino's arm.
Oh, okay.
Is a Zulu Sangoma, which is a traditional healer from South Africa. He is known as an author of books that draw upon African mythology. Traditional
Did he
Zulu.
nick the odd penis here and there? You know, a little bit wee, a little bit woe. Nick the odd
Well,
penis.
his initiation ceremony, he showed David Icke this like stone, and he says, "This was part of my initiation ceremony." He says, "What the holes thing?" He says, "Oh, well, that's where all the shamans do a wee on it, and over the generations, the wee has corroded the stone." And it's like, there's some big holes in this stone. I'm like,
Oh, no.
is it actually like their piss has been etching away stone? Like, how many times have they pissed on this stone to do it?
I think it'd be pretty acidic because they don't drink a lot of water, do they? It ain't exactly be diluted. It's going to be fairly fucking corrosive.
I don't know about you, but I mean, considering that there's some alleys which deal with a lot of piss, especially on a Friday night,
Yeah.
you don't see that sort of corrosion done to brick walls now, do you?
That's because that's what I'm saying. Like the African piss, because they have less water, it's going to be a lot more concentrated, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's a lot of volume on the Friday night piss in certain back alleys. So, his last work was a graphic novel called The Tree of Life Trilogy, based on his writings of his most famous book, Indaba, My Children. 2018 was honoured with an USBA award, whatever that is, for his work in indigenous wisdom. Credo called himself a Sanusi, not to be confused with the. Yeah, I was just thinking of Sanusi.
Is he from the planet Sanusi? Is that where he's from?
With the appliance of science.
Yeah.
The common spelling is Isanusi, which is a type of Zulu diviner or Sangoma.
I thought you were going to say a type of Zulu device there.
Yeah, for keeping your food cold.
Yeah.
The term stems from a more historic time and is not widely used today, even in a traditional setting. And there is citations there. One of them being from Karen Flint. So a literal Karen says that.
Yeah.
Credo lived with his wife Virginia in Kuluman, where they ran a hospice clinic. So early life. His father was a widower, 3 surviving children. We met his mum. His father was a builder and a Christian, and his mother was a young Zulu girl. Caught between Catholic missionaries on one hand and a stubborn old Zulu warrior, Credo, much to his maternal grandfather, his parents had no choice but to separate. Really? Okay. Credo was born out of wedlock, which caused great scandal in the village, and his mother was thrown up by her father. Later, he was taken in by one of his aunts. Fuck. He was subsequently raised by his father's brother, and was taken to south coast of Natal, which is in present day is known as KwaZulu-Natal, near the northern bank of the Mkumzi River. He did not attend school.
Wasn't Natal the place where the British famously handed out a kicking to the Zulus?
Yes, and it's now known as KwaZulu-Natal, which I think is Zulu for, oh yeah, we lost the Battle of Natal here, didn't we?
Whoops, Natal.
Yeah, whoops, Natal, or lost Natal.
KwaZulu means Michael Caine, doesn't it?
I think KwaZulu is African for Dresden. He did not attend school until he was 14 years old.
Is it Natal twinned with Dresden? Is that what you're saying up it?
Yeah, that's it. With Dresden upon sea. So what happened then? Some stuff happened then, and I'm totally going to look at the page once I've just demolished that woodcutter's hut. So that's it. In 1935, his father found a building job in the old Transvaal province, and the whole family relocated to where he was building. After falling severely ill, he was taken back to KwaZulu-Natal. Honestly, that just looks like one of the KwaZulu. Where modern medicine had failed, his grandfather, a man whom his father despised as a heathen and demon worshipper, helped him back to health by feeding him albino penises. At this point, Credo began to question many of the things about his people the missionaries would have them believe. Were we Africans really a race of primitives who possessed no knowledge at all before the white man came to Africa? He asked himself.
Better.
Yeah, and
open heart surgery.
and the
Traffic
pyramids,
lights.
traffic light, windscreen wipers.
Yeah.
His grandfather instilled in him the belief that his illness was a sacred calling, that it was to become a sangoma.
Fridge bulbs. They invented
healer.
fridge bulbs as well, didn't they? I bet.
Fridge bulbs?
Yeah.
So
They didn't invent bulbs, but they invented fridge bulbs.
Yeah, but like there was that really that light which lasted 10 seconds, which was a light bulb made out of carbon filament. That was a Blackie invention. So yeah, let's go to this bit. Demon worshipper, despised. That's it. He became a sangoma, a healer. He underwent fuasa, which is sangoma training initiation, with his grandfather and mother sister. A young mother sister, would that be his aunt? A young sangoma named Maina. Then there's the cultural village with like some beautiful sculptures. Truly are like eat heart Leonardo da Vinci. Here we go. Following the murder of his son by black political activists and the second burning of his village, so not burned once but twice.
The village so good they burned it twice.
Yeah, that's it. Credo moved away from Soweto and developed a cultural tourist village in Makien. He made his third village in Please Don't Burn Me and Murder My Children.
Reminds me of that bit from, do you remember that bit from the Holy Grail when he says, built me first castle, it went into the swamp. Built me second castle, went into the swamp. Built me third castle, that burnt down, fell over, went into the swamp.
Oh yeah, so anyway, this is now in
Laura laughs.
Which was known at the time as Bop Botswana.
Like Botswana with some extra words in it, is that what you said?
It's like Botswana after you try drinking some knockout rum.
Yeah.
Here you see, speaking of which, I need a little wet my whistle.
Yeah.
Really nice thing about unfiltered cider is you get all that yeasty goodness at the bottom.
Lovely.
Oh yeah, it's lovely. It's like drinking Marmite. Prophetic sculptures. Yeah, he done some views on HIV/AIDS.
Prophetic sculptures. Well, they weren't very good.
Yeah, they
was it like the crap sharks from Viz? Do you remember the crap sharks of it?
Yes. Although many of the sculptures at were unfamiliar to the Africans they are meant to represent, a number of them have been said to be prophetic in nature, most notably with claims predicting the coming of AIDS.
I don't like
South
all this
Africa.
racism you're saying, I bet, where you keep saying they're pathetic in nature.
Well, the prophetics, yeah. Well, hey, that's not me, that's Wikipedia being the racisms
Well,
here.
you know, Wikipedia, they're fucking always just disgusting.
Wikipedia, the bastion of white supremacy. So they went out and satisfied themselves elsewhere. What? Hang on. AIDS to South Africa. This was seen in his fictional sculptures of King Katandakululu, who had 200 wives. You couldn't satisfy them all sexually, so they went out and satisfied themselves elsewhere, which led them to contracting incurable sexually transmitted infections. Disease.
They're a bit like Melina Woes, but in Africa then.
Yeah. What? Why did they rename sexually transmitted diseases to infections? Is it like to try and make it less stigmatized?
Because they are not diseases.
The sores on King Kahanandakulu's penis resembled the AIDS ribbon. What? Really? The sculpture was created in 1979, 3 years before scientists uncovered the human immunodeficiency virus. Clemens' other predictions include the destruction of the World Trade Centers in the 11th September attacks, Chris Haney's assassination, he's some black, and the ousting of President Thabo Mbeki, who's also a black, among others. Mutwa was an activist, this is his views on AIDS, active and vocal advocate on the use of traditional African medicines for the treatment of AIDS, like raping a baby. Virgin. He created a trust called the Vulinda Trust in 1999 to preserve traditional knowledge and to promote the use of these traditional medicines. The primary focus of his research has been on a South African plant called Nwile, which is also known as Sutherlandia fruitensiens. It's a shrub with bitter aromatic leaves. Oh, it's quite okay. Willy is traditionally used as a well-being tonic, and it's also demonstrated.
Is that Ethel's dog from EastEnders?
Willy.
Willie. Do you
Willy.
remember Ethel used to talk about her little Willie all the time?
Oh. Yeah, so it turns out this plant's got demonstrate anti-cancer activity in vitro studies. Research the efficacy of unwili in the treatment of AIDS is ongoing, and in phase 2B trials are being conducted at South African Herbal Science and Medicine Institute, known as Shashimi.
Why are the names so fucking long in African shit?
Because they're very important, you must have all of the names. Reptilian agenda. David Icke aligned himself with Mutwa's affiliate of reptilian agenda, i.e. that reptilian race involved on Earth and not of alien origin has controlled the world for thousands of years. He made reference to the earthly origin
being not of alien origin.
Well, they've always been here. That's the thing, though. I mean, these aliens, they've always been here.
Yeah, I was watching a thing about national park mysteries earlier, and they were talking about the reptilians.
Support for apartheid. Mutwa he supported apartheid. One of his books, My People, The Incredible Writings of a Zulu Witch Doctor.
People. It's people, isn't it?
My People contains such statements. My people, primarily referring to practices amongst the Zulu that, in his eyes, justified the implementation of that system. And you know what? I mean, Credo Mutwa is probably one of the smartest. Well, he's not now because he's dead, but in his own nomenclature, he's one of the smartest niggas around. And if he says blacks and whites should be separate, then you're racist to disagree with him. So there.
Yeah.
You've just been learned by African wisdom, and he's got the Sashimi Award in Mbulu science to prove that he is what he says he is, which is a good man.
Top scientist.
And he's African wisdom, ancient African, and if you can't appreciate it, then there's something wrong with
Racism.
you. It is proper racism. Credo Mutwa. So anyway, no more bugger horse. I hope you appreciate the I'm doing a Gerald here.
Yeah.
I hope you appreciate the Credo Mutwa. We have done Credo Mutwa now.
Right, I'm going to do the weir hyena now. In Somalia, it is traditionally believed that Kori Ismaris, one who rubs himself with a stick, was a man who could transform him into a hyena man by rubbing himself. I guess what with Hobbit.
Rubbing himself off.
With a magic stick at nightfall, and by repeating this process, he could return to his human state before dawn. How did he pick a stick up in his hyena claws?
Well, he's going to rub himself off with it, isn't he?
Yeah. Fucking hell. If you're on the Wikipedia, fucking size of the donger on that fucking hyena. So in Ethiopia, it was traditionally believed that every blacksmith whose trade is hereditary is really a wizard or a witch, with the power to change into a hyena. That is magic. Why is that glowing red? Why are you making that glow red? Why is that glowing red?
Is there gold in your skull, or is it in your penis?
These blacksmith
Look at me, I am the witch hunter now.
These blacksmith weir hyenas are believed to rob graves at midnight and are referred to as Buddha.
Buddha?
They are viewed. Yeah,
that's an Oriental philosophy of.
It's spelled Bouda.
Buddha.
They are viewed with suspicion by most countrymen. Belief in the Buddha is also present in the Sudan and Tanzania, as well as Morocco, where some among the Berber people regard the Buddha as a man or woman who nightly turns into a hyena and resumes human shape at dawn. Many Ethiopian Christians characterise Ethiopian Jews as being Buddha. Absolutely disgusting anti-Semitism. Accusing them of unearthing Christian corpses and consuming them. The commonality of blacksmithing as a traditional profession for Jewish men in Ethiopia may be a reason for the connection between the two beliefs.
Well, at least they're doing something valuable there.
Yeah. I don't know, how good is African blacksmithy?
Well, if you ask Capstan, because once upon a time we knew this guy who went on the internet called Capstan.
Yeah.
And he said,
like Drascus at all.
He doesn't look like a skinny Drascus at all, no. That's just like some wild fantasy someone on the internet came up with.
Yeah.
Anyway, he said, "Orbit, do you want to go to the Pitt Rivers Hall of Violence?" And said, "Yeah, okay." So we were having a look at these African swords, and he says, "Orbit, have you noticed something about the dates on these swords?" And I said, "What, 18th century, 19th century?" He says, all these swords existed after European colonization. I was like, so what is you saying these swords aren't African?
That's utter bigotry, Hobbit.
It was, and I publicly
I hope you
disavowed
disavowed.
him. I disavowed him, and I said, as an ally of all the darkies working here, I cannot approve of such blatant bias and jealousy of the proud African artistry, which looks a bit European. But that's just because you don't realise Europeans, what they is doing is stealing the African designs and culturally appropriating them. Yeah, see. Look at me, I'm anti-racist now.
In the folklore of Western Sudanic people, in the Kanuri language of the former Bornu Empire in the Lake Chad region, weir hyenas are referred to as Bultungin, which could translate into "I change myself into a hyena."
Look at me, Morty.
Look at me. I am the hyena now.
I've changed myself into a Morty. I've changed.
You are a hyena. Stop being a hyena.
Look at me. I'm a hyena. I'm Hyena Rick.
Hyena Rick. It was once traditionally believed. You son of a bitch. I'm in. It was once traditionally believed that one or two of the villages in the region were populated entirely by weir hyenas, such as Kubultiloa.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, in the folklore of Western Sudanic people. Oh God. Oh, glad we finished on time tonight. I'm knackered. In the folklore of Western Sudanic peoples, there is a hybrid creature, a human, who is nightly transformed into a cannibalistic monster that terrorizes people, especially lovers. The creature is often portrayed as a magically powerful healer, blacksmith, or woodcutter in its human form, but recognizable through signs like a hairy body, red and gleaming eyes, and a nasal voice.
Oh, that's problematic.
Oh no! Why are you doing that? You don't want to do it you don't want to bang her like that, mate.
Oh, make sure to like and subscribe. And
are the red and gleaming eyes not like a dead giveaway?
Welcome to another anthropological weekly review.
Are the red and gleaming eyes just not a red? You don't really need the rest, do you? If someone's got red and gleaming eyes, you know they're wrong, don't you?
Oh, but they need to make sure, just in case you weren't sure, just to be doubly, triply sure. It's like, yeah, the bad man.
The bad man.
I am the bad man now.
Oh, there's a 2011 film called Hyenas that features some weird hyenas.
Oh, speaking of which, I saw a really good film. It was like one of those dubbed films, but it's proper good.
Yeah.
It was called It's about this Hungarian. He goes to America and he goes to a prison, and I think it's called Death Block 13 or something like that. I'm just going to look at my movies.
Yeah.
And it is called...
Not those movies, Hobbit, the other folder.
Yes, that's right. Not The Hunt for Red October.
Not Hobbit special folder.
The Wrong Guys, The Thing Inside Us, Rays of Atlantis. Oh no, this is a bit too old. Escape from Death Block 13. There we go. It's a new film, 2021. Really good. Really, really good. So I'll put a link to that in Fortean Words if you want to watch it.
What we got here then? Oh, did you hear about the 2008 Congo football riots, Hobbit?
Oh, where were you when the 2008 Congo football riots went off?
Don't know. Yeah, basically what happened was two player was it so a football game in Butembo, province of Nord Kivu, in the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Teams playing was Sokozaki and Nuyuki System, which are two local clubs whose games are considered derbies. The riots were sparked by accusations that one of the football players was using witchcraft. Nuyuki were losing the game and their goalkeeper tried to advance up the pitch and cast a spell that would turn the game round. This caused a brawl between players, and when a police commander tried to intervene, he was pelted by stones from the spectators. To regain control of the situation, police forces reportedly fired canisters of tear gas into the crowd, something that caused a stampede.
But why are you trying to distract from the fact that penises are being stolen? No one takes it seriously.
I can't find penis theft in this thing. Killing of disabled children in Uganda. Do you want to know about
that? I found a story.
Go on then.
Well, I was looking for like penis theft.
Yeah.
And it calls links to stories about cock theft, cock shrinking, and man pussies. The photographs in this are not feet. I don't think they're African.
Oh, okay.
That's probably not. That's probably not African penis theft. Penis shrinking stories. Small. No. This. Oh shit. Oh, I know. If I put safe search on, then it's all right. Kolo. Have you heard about Kolo?
Kolo. No. Kolo.
It is medicine. It is powerful medicine. Kolo is cultural bound delusional disorder. Oh, this is Wikipedia being racist again. So I just have to apologise on behalf of our audience here. I'm reading a Wikipedia article on Koro, and it's really problematic, this language, right?
Isn't Koro that thing you catch when you have sex with dead bodies?
Well, there's Kuro, which is like Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. It happens when you do cannibalism. Koro is a cultural-bound delusional disorder in which an individual has an overpowering belief that their sex organs are retracting or disappear, despite the lack of any true long-standing changes to the genitals. Koro is also known as shrinking penis, and it is listed in the Diagnostic Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. Oh, the DSM manual is a load of bullshit. It's basically to try and justify Sigmund Freud. It's like, no, it's legitimate. Look, it's a real science. We got statistics and a manual. The syndrome occurs worldwide. Mass hysteria of genital shrinking society has history in Africa, Asia, and Europe. In the United States and Europe, the syndrome is commonly known as genital retraction syndrome. The condition can be diagnosed through psychological assessment. No, the condition can be diagnosed through getting your penis back from the penis thief.
Yeah.
Fucking it. Look, I really got to apologise.
Why are they denigrating other cultures?
I really got to apologise to our audience, but I condemn the word viciously racist words spewed here by vile hate blog wikipedia.org. These are not my own words, and I disavow everything which I've just read out from this vile hate speech pamphlet known as wikipedia.org. So, it wasn't my words. I'm just reading it out for the record. And, I hope you can forgive me, Sir Hemmingford Grey, for say these vile, disgusting things.
Yeah, I'll forgive you, Hobbit. I don't know if Susan Wojcicki will.
Yeah, but she's a part. She's in on it, so yeah. I don't want to read anything more from that vile hate thing because also it's just boring. Was penis theft? Oh my god, there's a load of long bullshit here which is not interesting. Penis theft panic hit city, Reuters. Kinshasa. Yeah, whatever. Reuters.
Fucking Sasha.
Kinshasa. Police in Congo have arrested 13 suspected sorcerers accused of using black magic to steal or shrink men's penises after the wave.
Sorcerers.
They are sorcerers.
Yes.
Why are you a sorcerer? Why do you eat a poo-poo? So, reports of so-called penis snatching are not uncommon in West Africa, where belief in traditional religions and witchcraft remains widespread, and where ritual
I say
killings...
there's something wrong with this belief.
I think that Reuters.com is also another hate-filled blog that is being viciously racist because of white supremacy, which here at Fortean Words we condemn in the strongest ways possible and disavow all racism, and this is a no-hate zone, Reuters.com, and I don't appreciate your problematic bigoted language. So they're saying here that the belief in traditional religions and witchcraft remains widespread. You said that bit. Rumours of penis theft. See, they're not even entertaining that this is a real serious problem going on. Rumours of penis theft began circulating last week in Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of Congo's sprawling capital of some 8 million inhabitants.
I thought if it was real in your mind, then it's real.
Yeah, but
it's real as anything.
It's this bigotry of just not believing African voices, and I'm sick of it. I really am. And they quickly dominated radio call-in shows where listeners advised to beware of fellow passengers in communal taxis wearing gold rings. Yep. As we all know, penis thieves wear gold rings. Purported victims, 14 of whom were also detained by police, claimed that sorcerers simply touch them to make the gentle shrink or disappear.
They'll shake hands, don't they, as well?
That's it. You don't want to shake hands with the devil; he'll nick your willy.
This is like doing a show with Pickle Rick tonight. I bet with the Belgian and.
You could have got
Hemmy, I need to tell you about the penis theft, Hemmy.
It's real. It goes on. They're all being racist.
It's happening, Hemmy. It's happening. The penis theft.
Why won't you believe me? So, purported victims, 14 of whom were also detained by police, claim that sorcerers simply touch them, make their willies disappear, and what some residents said was an attempt to extort cash with a promise of a cure. You just have to be accused of that. Some people come after you.
Are you doing the fucking Rick bit intentionally now, Hobbit?
No, I'm not. I'm trying to read this seriously and I keep laughing. I'm sorry, I'm not giving this article the true
seriousness. It's real, Hemmy. The penis theft. It's real.
It's really real. I posted a link so you can read along with me.
They're stealing the penises, Hemmy.
The penises, they're being stolen. So he says, what's this? Oh yeah, the extortion of cash to promise of a cure. You just have to be accused of that and people come after you. We've had a number of attempted lynchings. You see them covered in marks after being beaten.
I thought there was only one type of people that did lynchings, and it wasn't the sort of people that come from Kinshasa.
Well, no, and wow, I mean, look, this is like the self-hatred of the Africans. They've brought lynching home. So anyway, that is what Kinshasa's police chief John Dudene Okilo told Reuters on Tuesday. Police arrested the accused sorcerers and their victims. Why are the victims being arrested? In an effort to avoid the sort of bloodshed seen in Ghana a decade ago, where 12 suspected penis snatchers were beaten to death by angry mobs.
What the fuck is this bigotry in this next line, Hobbit?
The 27 men have since been released.
No, the next
oh my god, this is from, Jean Dudonneau Killer. I'm tempted to say it's one huge joke. But when you try to tell the victims that their penises are still there, they tell you that it's become tiny or they've become impotent. So that I tell them, how do you know if you haven't gone home and tried it, he said. I can't believe... Can you imagine if our police chiefs, I mean,
could you imagine Cressida Dick saying something like that?
It's funny because her name's stupid.
So can you imagine her going, look, shut up, Darky, go home and give it a go. Can you imagine Christina Dick saying something like that?
It would be seen
the
as
bigotry's off the fucking charts.
I can't believe like Jean Dieudonné Oculo can get away with such vile racism of not believing
This is
these
racism
people.
of the highest order.
It is raconteur racism, and I, for one, here at the Fortean Words Cultural Understanding Show, do not stand for such blatant racism, and I disavow all the stuff we have said today because it's not our own words, and we are peace, love, and understanding. Yeah. Oh, there's still more. So some Kinshasa residents accuse a separatist sect from nearby Basse-Congo province of being behind the witchcraft in revenge for a recent government crackdown on its members. It's real. Just yesterday here, there was a man who was a victim. We saw. What was left was tiny. Why are they all looking at these willies? Said 29-year-old Alain Kalalala, who sells phone credits near Kinshasa police station. Oh, man. See, you should count yourself lucky, dear listener, that you're not a victim of penis theft, because considering that the chief of police, Jean Dieudonné Oculo, would just laugh in your face, you know, this is the sort of bigotry you can expect to... It just... What can you do in the face of such blatant racism?
Yeah.
Guys who've got a permanent
As that man
helmet
said, it's real. It is real.
As Ian says, guys who've got a permanent helmet have had part of their penis stolen. Yes, penis theft does happen quite a lot in South Korea, USA, and Israel. And that penis theft is not talked about. Or maybe it is talked about, but it frankly sickens me, so I don't listen because wow, a controversial opinion, I don't like child abuse. Oh, yeah.
So do you want to know about some African vampires, Hobbit?
Oh, do I ever? What about Wesley Snipes?
He's a dampier, isn't he? He's half vampire.
So he's not an African vampire.
Do you want to talk about the Obe-Ifo? This living vampire found in West Africa was said to be either male or female. In some versions of the legend, the Obe-Ifo had the power to leave its body and travel to victims in the form of a big ball of light. Others say this creature stayed in human form, but that a bright green light emitted from its arse and armpits. Seriously, its favourite Its favourite meal was the blood of children, but it also drank the sap and vital juices in crops, causing horrible blights.
So it's like an aphid?
A bit like that, but it's got green light coming out of its arse and armpits.
Okay, so this is more than just an aphid. It's a blood-sucking aphid.
Yeah. The Tikoloshe. This creature looks like a freakish baboon and can be found in southernmost African plains. The Tikoloshe is a kind of psychic vampire that doesn't feed upon blood, but instead the energy of its victims. It's best known for its horrific sexual appetite. Most stories tell of this monster raping, then feeding off the life force of women. Is this what you were talking about, Hobbit?
So... Yeah, you know what?
Some say that a witch doctor can trap and destroy a Tikoloshe's powers by luring it with milk.
Milk? Really?
Yeah, milk.
Oh. Okay.
The blood of the white man, milk.
The white man's milk. The white devil blood.
And now I will do the Adze. A vampire feared by the Uwe people in southern Togo. The Adze took the form of a firefly. A firefly may not invoke a lot of fear in anyone, but this vamp isn't one to be taken for granted. If caught, this being may revert to a quasi-human form, that of a human-like figure with a hunchback, sharp talons and jet black skin.
I appreciate you trying to do a show, but have you ever seen a firefly in real life?
No.
It's weird. I saw them once in this quarry.
Yeah.
And it looked like floating LEDs, and I was just like, what am I looking at? And then after a while, I was just like, those are fireflies. I was like, those exist not just in England but in the Shire. And I was like, it was truly a magical thing. I mean, if I was like some medieval peasant, I just assumed I'd saw some fairy lights or something because.
Or a Wakandan. A Wakandan, you'd be a bit weird.
Yeah. But did medieval peasants know about Wakandans?
No.
No.
It was hunchback, sharp talons, jet black skin. It was in this form that it was most dangerous, for then it could kill its victim, drink their blood, and eat their heart and liver.
Oh my
It is
God.
said that children are the Adzi's favourite food.
But my favourite bit of people has got to be the children.
Asan Bossam, the vampire known among the Ashanti of southern Ghana and by the people in areas of the Ivory Coast and Togo. The Asan Bossam is said to live deep in the forests where it preys mainly upon hunters. It looks mostly human except it has teeth made of iron and its legs are hooks. Well, they're not legs then, are they?
It's got hooks for a leg.
Yeah. Anyone unlucky enough to walk by a tree this vamp is dangling from will be scooped up and killed.
Dun, dun, dun.
Have you ever heard of the Sasa Bonsam?
No, I haven't.
This vampire is very similar to the Asan Bossam, for they also live in trees and drink the blood of anyone who walks under them. The difference, though, is in their appearance. The Sasan Bossam also looks human, but doesn't have hooks or iron teeth. Instead, it looks like a mix between human and bat. Its arms are short and stubby, and it has big wings. Some legends say its wingspan reaches 20 feet.
Oh.
I have a lot of vampires, don't they?
Yeah, there's a lot of blood sucking and penis theft going on.
Children
We need to
theft.
figure out what the hell's going on with all this penis theft.
Impundulu. This vamp
Excuse
hails
me.
from the Eastern Cape region of South Africa. The Impundulu is actually a witch's servant, or rather her familiar. It's usually owned by a female, which is later passed on to the witch's daughter. This vampire has an insatiable love for blood and will not feed on not only humans but cattle as well. The witch that controlled an Impundulu had to make sure it was always well fed, otherwise it would turn on her. Unlike other African vampires, which usually appeared in some monstrous form, the Impundulu looked like a gorgeous young man. This is why some legends claim the witch and her Impundulu would become lovers.
You know, there's some similar European stories about that. Like, I saw this episode of, I think it was Sabrina the Teenage Witch, where the cat Salem, which, by the way, is a weird name for like a witch's cat. It's like imagine like a Jewish family, they got a cat named Auschwitz. But anyway, never mind that. The fact is, right, that in Sabrina the Teenage Witch, they turn. Oh, no, it wasn't Sabrina the Teenage Witch. It was Terry Pratchett Witches. That's it. And they turned their pet cat into like a human, who just turned into a Casanova and was busy like shagging a load of people.
Nice.
Yeah.
Last but not least, we have the Ramanga. This is a strange kind of living vampire found among the Betsilo tribe of Madagascar. The Ramanga is a person that performs disgusting services for the chiefs of the tribe. Whenever a person of high standing has his or her nail clipped and endured a medical treatment in which blood was spilled, the Ramanga was expected to eat the nail clippings and drink the blood. If there wasn't a Ramanga nearby at the time, the clippings and blood were carefully preserved until the return of the ceremonial vampire.
Okay.
Do you want to do us a pigeon story? I've just put some in there that English sent to us.
We've got so many penis theft stories, but I'm thinking,
You've
do
got
we
some
have
more
time
penis
for
stuff, have you?
unexplained
No, these are vampires.
mysteries?
These are vampires.
I was going to say, do we have time for unexplained mysteries? Maybe there'll be some penis theft news
Do you
there.
want to do 15 minutes of unexplained mysteries then?
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, audience, we will cover John Hutchinson. It's definitely coming. We're going to talk about all John Hutchinson did. It ties into free energy, anti-grav, you name it. John Hutchinson did it. And we will have it. John Hutchinson will be covered on this show. Oh, my name is not Hobbit. Well, it's not Hobbit. That's just like a nom de guerre, but, you know, that's the thing.
Why's the news page changed?
What, an unexplained mysteries?
Yeah, it's 2 columns now instead of 1.
Why would they do so? Unexplainedmysteries.com. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. It's not penis theft, but pilots who pursued UFOs got radiation burns. Now, this is a thing, right? So, you know how they say like UFOs go really fast through the sky, and they like can stop on the dime and then they
It's a kid whacked his balls on a dustbin lid like that. Hobbit.
Oh, no, I don't remember that at all. But so here's the thing, right? If you had like two lights or two laser beams and you shone them in the sky, and where they intersected, that's where you can see the light. So you could very quickly move that beam of light across the sky just with tiny little twitches of the emitters.
Yeah.
So what if these UFOs are not in fact a physical craft, but they're like plasma which is created between two intersecting laser beams? No, there's just a thought. There's a thought. So, a former intelligence officer has described the physical symptoms experienced by U.S. Navy pilots. Louis Elizondo. Why do they have all these names I can't pronounce?
Louis Elizondo.
Yeah, there we go. Was once the head of U.S. government's secretive advanced aviation threat identification. They're like the Africans with their names. There's quite a lot to say about the subject in recent years.
The R-tip. Just call it the R-tip of it.
The R-tip.
Yeah.
Having long maintained that the government is in possession of exotic materials, he also claims to have seen several unreleased videos recorded by U.S. Navy pilots during their encounters with unidentified aerial phenomena.
UFOs. Fuck off. They're UFOs.
But they want to call them UAPs now.
UAPs.
Off the coast of the United States. There's videos out there. There's one that's 23 minutes long. He recently told GQ magazine. That was supposed to be my American accent. There's another one of them. This thing's 50 feet away from the cockpit.
That's a bit better.
During the interview, he also made comments implying that some of the pilots had experienced physical symptoms as a result of their proximity to the objects. I've got to be careful. I can't speak too specifically. But one might imagine that you get a report from pilot that says, Louis, it's really weird. I was flying, I got close to this thing. Came back home and was like, I got a sunburn. I was red for 4 days, he said. Well, it's a sign of radiation, you see. That's not sunburn, it's a radiation burn. He also claimed that some of the pilots had experienced the warping of time. The closer you get to one of these vehicles, the more you may begin to experience space-time relative to the vehicle and the environment, he said. Exactly how much truth there is to these claims, however, remains unclear. Tarot deck based on UFOs.
Have you not seen? No, it's just the tarot deck with the UFO theme. NASA pushes planned moon landing back to 2025. So only 50 odd years since they last went.
Yeah.
Anyway, NASA.
Yeah. Never a straight answer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Loch Ness Monster has been arrested at COP26 in Glasgow.
What? Hey, Loch Nessie did nothing wrong. You leave
pooped on a processor.
Look, what? What?
How about this one then, Hobbit? If we live in a simulation, how much computer memory does it need?
That's why there's shortages of all this stuff, because the simulation's needing extra processing power for all the bullshit that's going on.
Oh, well, we're getting locked down. We're not allowed to go too far from home.
That's it. Yeah, but there is nowhere else to go. You've got the firmament and the waters above and the dome, and this is it. This is that. So what if it, there was this autistic guy called Neil McKinnon, I think that was his name, or Ian McKinnon, and he was this hacker, and he was like, I'm bored, I'm going to hack
Gary McKinnon.
Gary McKinnon, that's the one. And he's like, I'm going to hack into the US military service and see what I can find about UFOs. And he hacks into them and he finds here's the US Navy's extraterrestrial fleet, including list of personnel and their names and what vessels they're serving on in the extraterrestrial fleet. And then like some people suggesting the expanded Earth thing, where like beyond the ice wall of Antarctica, you've got extra lands, and they're saying that extraterrestrial may. Now, I don't really know what terrestrial means, so is it legit that you could say extraterrestrial means like lands beyond Earth? Because in which case, like, is this not Earth? Because I thought it's all part of the same realm. But anyway, they're saying extraterrestrial means lands beyond the ice wall, which Admiral Byrd did see in his expeditions to Antarctica. Prior to Antarctica being really difficult to fly to and get to, and have we covered on Fortean? I know we did it on we did a we definitely had it in the Fortean Words channel, which by the way is t.me/Fortean Words. Links in the description.
Yeah.
You can go there, and I suggest you actually do after this show. And there was something about Emmy, help me out. We did a video. Oh, that was it. Admiral Byrd's expeditions to Antarctica and stuff. I forgot my point, so let's just pretend that was.
We talked about Antarctica, but I can't remember.
But did we talk about Admiral Byrd and his expeditions? I'm not really sure. Know.
I think we mentioned it. We might have mentioned it.
You mentioned it once.
Got away with it.
Got away with it. That's it. There we go. Oh, we had a good time with this episode, didn't we? We managed to get through it all.
Do you reckon? Did you seen this one that fairies kidnapped children and drank human blood?
Ah, so these are the Mouse Witch clan of fairies.
Forget Tinkerbell.
When you say fairies, I occasionally think is he talking about furries? I'm like, I know they're up to like
fairies.
They've done some bad stuff, but that's
forget
really
Tinkerbell.
bad,
the fairies of folklore in centuries past were nothing like those in today's stories. When most people think about fairies, they think about him off the telly. No, they think they perhaps picture the sparkling Tinkerbell from Peter Pan, or the other heartwarming and cute fairies and fairy godmothers that populate many Disney movies and children's cartoons. But these creatures have much darker origins and were once thought to be more like undead, blood-sucking vampires.
Yes.
In The Secret Commonwealth of Elves, Fauns and Fairies, 1682, folklorist Robert Kirk, not the same one that wrote The Walking Dead, argued fairies are the dead or middle nature betwixt man and angels. This association is particularly prominent in Celtic lore. Writing in 1887, Lady Jane Wilde popularised the Irish belief that the fairies are fallen angels who were cast down by Lord God out of heaven for their sinful pride, and the devil gives these knowledge and power, then sends them on the earth where they work much evil.
Do you think there's any difference between elves and fairies? Do you think elves is just like hurgy-burgy word for a fairy?
I don't know. Well, elves walk, don't they? Whereas elves have got little wings, haven't they?
Oh, yeah, but like, and what's the difference between a pixie and a fairy then? Is there a difference?
I don't know.
I want to know.
So they're talking about. Oh, fucking hell. How about this one then? However, due to Peter Pan's great success and the prominent pixie character of Tinkerbell, the creatures would eventually lose their malevolence as they became confined to the nursery. Barry famously equated the origin of fairies with children. When the first baby laughed, its laugh broke into 1,000 pieces, and that was the beginning of the fairies.
No, that's something I want to say, right? This is an important thing. Fairy stories, if you like read the original ones, are really like, it's not just because the Brothers Grimm wrote it, but they're really proper like grim, like warning, like, hey, this
morality
is dangerous.
Tales, aren't they?
They literally like, you know, like the Hansel and Gretel and stuff like that. Yeah, and
do you remember that the film The Brothers Grimm? You seen that one?
I haven't. No.
Oh, I think that's Terry Gilliam did that. That's a decent film worth watching.
There's a lot of like stuff like Disney and the bloke who did. That's funny actually. He said he wrote Peter Pan because his child was in John Radcliffe, and it's like, I'm going to write a children's story to cheer them up, and the money you sell from it I'm going to use for the John Radcliffe and stuff. And he invented the name Wendy because Wendy didn't exist prior to Peter Pan being weird, and Maybe we should do a Fortean Words about the story of Peter Pan and whoever wrote it, whose name escapes me. But there's a lot of stuff I think to try and do to de-demonize fairies. They're not nice Tinkerbell creatures. You don't want to mess with them. They'll steal your children and your penis. They will fuck up your penis, and then you'll try and tell people that my penis has been stolen, and then they'll be like, tee hee hee, and I suppose the fairies are there. Come on, what have you been smoking, mate? And it's like, well, some ganja, but that's got nothing to do with it.
Yeah. Right, to answer that question, Hobbit, pixies are basically the blacks of fairies.
Oh yeah,
they're faster and more vicious fighters. They've got different coloured hair, skin.
Do they put spinning wings on their chariots?
They don't wear clothes.
Do they listen to drill music? Or do they listen to the Pixies with Debaser? I like Pixies, by the way. I think they're a good band. This monkey's gone to heaven. This monkey has gone to heaven. Where is my mind? Oh, they did a song about slicing up eyeballs. I didn't. Debaser. Yeah, that is Debaser. Debaser. Slicing up eyeballs. I don't know. Da 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 da. Labyrinth portrayed an accurate depiction of fairies. I've been meaning to watch Labyrinth again because someone's going on about this film called Maze Runner. I looked at the poster and thought, oh, that's just a remake of Labyrinth.
No, it's not. It's a remake of The Hunger
I
Games.
am David Bowie, and here am I doing this thing with puppets. Let's have a game.
Bowie bit.
And where I play with my crystal balls. I'm David Bowie.
Ghost Hunter claims angry ghost whooshed through him.
Pixies are for the pre-Nirvana trendies vomit.
Vomit?
Oh, I'm Bowie the Fiddler.
That's not very nice.
And an Irish Keiko chick named Jennifer. She's literally the definition of a mamza. Oh, The Labyrinth was a shit film.
Oh, Bowie the Fiddler
film?
and an Irish kilky chick named Jennifer.
It's better when you try and sing it in the style of David Bowie.
Yeah.
You know that song by Gorgeous George, Never Met a Girl Like You Before? I really like that song. My dad says, oh, it'd been better if Bowie.
That was,
Edwin Collins.
Edwin Collins. Never met a girl. I preferred the Mark and Lard.
Yeah, I like that one. But my dad said, oh, it'd been better if Bowie had sung it.
Oh, Bowie's a tad overrated, isn't he?
Well, yeah, but like sometimes my dad comes up with some right shit. So
you seen the Britain's Most Haunted, Britain's version of Annabelle?
No.
As soon as we had her, she started being active in our room. She's been seen many times on CTV where the chair has spanned from side to side. The chair has rocked and her eyes have moved, and she's thrown herself out of the chair on 2 different occasions. She lights up lights around the equipment and sometimes that she likes to play with. Some of the museum's visitors have also experienced something unusual while around the doll. We've had 4 members of the public on a tour here, and she was actually on the table, and in the centre of the room, she was rocking in front of them. Grim. Dolls
I've just realised, like, it's been a long time since I've ever been muted on the stream, and it's like, that's because Skinny Drascus doesn't control my voice anymore.
Or Brutus.
Yeah. Brutus really didn't like it when I'd start talking.
Right, that's us done. Dopey Chris is on in 5 minutes. He's going to talk about the thing at the end of.
I legit want to watch that because, like, yeah, there was a devil sacrifice thing, and yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it properly one day, won't we?
Will we?
Probably.
Well,
don't know if you want to.
Maybe we can just like watch Dopey Chris's thing and do a director's commentary.
Yeah. Well, we can't because it's on my YouTube.
Well, no, that's what I mean. Like, we just record it and then we just talk over it and say, pause it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. Dopey Chris is coming up. Enjoy.
Go away now. No, don't go away now. Stay here.
Yeah, stay here. 5 minutes. He'll be on.
Yeah.